How poor sleep is secretly ruining your relationship. Have you ever noticed that the smallest things become huge arguments when you're exhausted? Maybe your partner forgot to reply to a message. Maybe they didn't notice your bad mood. On a normal day, you probably let it go. But after a bad night's sleep, suddenly it feels personal. You become more irritated, more sensitive, more distant. Here's the surprising part. Research has consistently shown that poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it changes the way you communicate, interpret emotions, handle conflict, and even how much love you feel toward your partner. In other words, sometimes the problem isn't your relationship, it's your sleep. Let's find out why. Sleep makes your brain more emotional. Imagine your brain as a car. Sleep is the nightly maintenance that keeps the brakes working. When you don't get enough sleep, those emotional brakes stop working properly. That means your brain reacts more strongly to negative situations. A harmless comment suddenly sounds like criticism. A delayed text feels like rejection. A small disagreement turns into a full-blown argument. It's not because your partner changed overnight. Your brain simply became worse at controlling emotional reactions. That's why couples often say things late at night that they regret the next morning. They weren't thinking clearly. They were simply exhausted. You stop seeing your partner's good intentions. Here's something fascinating. When you're well rested, your brain naturally gives people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe your partner forgot to call because they were busy. Maybe they sounded distracted because they had a stressful day. But after poor sleep, your brain starts assuming the worst. They don't care. They're ignoring me. They don't appreciate me anymore. The same action suddenly has a completely different meaning. Sleep deprivation quietly turns misunderstandings into relationship problems. You become less patient. Think about the last time you were sleep deprived. Even slow internet felt annoying. Now imagine trying to solve a relationship conflict in that state. Listening becomes harder. Interrupting becomes easier. Compromise feels impossible. Instead of trying to understand each other, both people simply want the conversation to end. Healthy relationships aren't built by people who never argue. They're built by people who stay patient during difficult conversations. And patience is one of the first things poor sleep takes away. Physical affection starts disappearing. Relationships don't only survive through words. They also survive through small moments. Holding hands, smiling, hugging, cuddling. A simple kiss before leaving the house. When you're constantly tired, your body focuses on one priority: rest. You may unintentionally stop showing affection, not because you love your partner less, but because your energy is running on empty. Unfortunately, your partner may interpret this differently. They may think, they're losing interest. They don't find me attractive anymore. They're becoming emotionally distant. A lack of sleep slowly creates emotional distance without either person realizing why. Stress becomes contagious. Stress spreads between couples more than most people realize. If one partner is exhausted, frustrated, and emotionally reactive, the other person often absorbs that energy. Soon, both people feel tense. Then every conversation becomes more negative. This creates a cycle. Poor sleep increases stress. Stress makes it harder to sleep. Even worse sleep creates even more conflict. Without realizing it, the relationship becomes trapped in a loop that has nothing to do with love. The little things matter more than big gestures. Many people think improving a relationship requires expensive dates, romantic vacations, or dramatic apologies. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is simply go to bed earlier. Because when you're rested, you naturally become kinder, more forgiving, more patient, more affectionate. You laugh more, you argue less. You notice the good instead of searching for the bad. Healthy sleep doesn't magically fix every relationship, but it gives your brain the ability to become the best version of yourself. And that's often exactly what love needs. Conclusion. The next time you and your partner have a bad day together, before asking, "Are we falling apart?" try asking something much simpler. When was the last time we actually slept well? Because sometimes the biggest relationship problem isn't communication. It isn't compatibility. It isn't a lack of love. It's two exhausted people trying to solve emotional problems with tired brains. Tonight, instead of scrolling for another hour, try choosing sleep. Your relationship might thank you for it. And if you enjoyed learning about the hidden psychology behind relationships and human behavior, don't forget to subscribe. Because sometimes understanding your mind is the first step toward understanding the people you love.